Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence. In this classic review, we're going back in time once again, Series 2 of G.I. Joe, a real American hero, and we're going to be taking a look at everyone's favorite Marine, Gung-Ho. We're going to look at what he has, which is his grenade launcher, his big old backpack, and yes, before anyone says, "What? That's not right," yes, the one that I have, one of the ones that I have, somebody went and painted it. But this blue is actually nicer than, well, it isn't as faded as the one that doesn't have it on it. So anyway, it doesn't really matter. I'll show them both off. But we're going to take a look at this figure. We're going to look at everything that he came with, how he looked, why everyone fell in love with this guy. And believe me, I want to hear any stories that you had. I'm willing to bet that this guy right here and his big old tattoo on his chest there made people join the Marines. I want to hear it. Did you join the Marines because of that? Or maybe you moved to Louisiana to be like this guy. It's a story. But anyway, maybe your dad was a Marine and he said, you got to have this guy because us Marines, we all dressed in like teal blue and didn't wear shirts, and that's how we walked. I don't know. Why do we all love this guy? Who knows? But he was one of my favorite figures for the longest time. Anyway, we're going to take a look at him, go over everything. But before we do, if you like this type of content, you like seeing Gung-Ho in all his glory along with his actual tattoo, which they can't use anymore, please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a G.I. Joe classic review. Alright, so here we have it, is our Gung-Ho, and we're going to take a look at him. And again, we'll look at the accessories first. So we'll pop this off. So quickly looking at the backpack, as I mentioned earlier, you can see this one here is very faded. It doesn't match him the same as this one. I acquired this one and someone had already painted it. I actually tried to remove the paint. I'm kind of regretting it because it wasn't coming off. It actually looked really good, and then I already had this one. But taking a look at the backpack here, we can see the nice straps that run up, and even the texture that's made it really hard to try and get that paint off. Now you got your little loops to hold it down. You got a little button that's going to hold this flap down. Here's something that I never really noticed. This is a collapsible shovel that is kind of strapped onto this, and you have another pouch right there. You got the two pouches right up here, one over on this side, and you can see the straps go all the way over here, and again, they look extremely nice. But when you're looking at this actual backpack, you can see the way this goes in. It's meant to look like it is soft, that it's not just some hard piece of plastic that he's going to be lugging around. Same with the pouches even here. So nice detail as always. Here is our grenade launcher. Now, even as a kid, I always found it odd that he just had this big grenade launcher. This is not a shotgun like some people have said in the past. It does have this sling, or as I called it as a kid, a strap. I loved all the guns that had slings on them. Even though they were hard to get to pose a figure with it either over his shoulder or normally in his hand. Sometimes they actually work pretty well, but no trigger, obviously no trigger guard here. You got your nice stock that sits right there. There's his handle, so you can hold on to it where your grenade is going to shoot out from. And just the detail on it is really, really nice. And again, this was another one of those things that was, in my opinion, made famous in Predator. And I think we all like this. And again, the Marines had two of the weapons from Predator. But again, nice detail there. And now we're going to take a look at our Gung-Ho. This is a guy, again, I have a feeling if this figure inspired you to join the Marines, please tell me so. So I don't know why I always like this figure. Look at him. He looks like he is one of the village people. There's no doubt about it. So he has his Marine cover on. Technically, he does have the points there, how he's supposed to. He has a logo right up on the top here. It looks more like an anchor, not the EGA that you see. Although there might be the top of it. It's hard to say. Again, little detail. Even around here, you can see that there's a little strap that goes over there. My Gung-Ho, my childhood one, was absolutely destroyed. Big eyebrows. The eyes are painted the same. Up on the top, then you just have a little dot right there. And then he has a wonderful mustache. Again, maybe I look more like this figure than the Leatherneck. Ears on the back, you can clearly see, of course he has ears, but it does look like he is a bald figure. Alright, going down to the vest on his teal, he's got a grenade sitting right up there and up here. And when you look at this, it is folded over. Alright, so you're not seeing where the buttons would be for the vest. It's wrinkled. Again, I love the fact that they just put this little bit of detail into it. Then you have his Marine logo, his EGA. This is what really bothered people in the classified, and I do understand, but unfortunately, even though this is really a free recruiting for the Marines, they charged people to use it. You can see the abs that he has. Now, I always wish that he had bigger arms, especially when Sergeant Slaughter later on came with bigger arms, because I always looked at him as one of the stronger guys. Got the nice belt with the same texture that is on the backpack. All right, so he's got the same type of cloth material that's going to hold the backpack on. Nice little clasp right there to hold it in place. Got a couple little pockets on the back, and then he has this green camouflage. Now, again, if you're a Marine and you wore these colors, please let me know. I would love to hear that. It's got a pistol over here with a nice, looks like more of a built-in, I guess not built-in, you can see the actual strap. It's that strap that goes around. The strap that actually goes around, that's going to hold that holster on. But what is odd is that, again, there is camouflage. Now, this is something that you wouldn't see in the newer figures, because this would actually be added onto it. On this side, you actually have some of the shells for the grenade launcher. And then onto his boot, he's got the sheath for the little knife. Nice gray boots. You can see where they're tied up. And again, this figure was one of my favorite figures growing up. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to throw that one on him. Now, this gun here comes from the Manta. And this is my original one. You can probably tell it's pretty beat up. And my Manta was, I believe it's called a Manta, right? Long gone. And it's supposed to have a trigger here, so you can actually fire it off of the windsurf. But I always used this. All right, it was a big gun. He's supposed to be a big hulking figure. And to be honest, it just worked absolutely awesome. So even today in my display, he usually sits with this up here. And then he's actually holding this big old submachine gun. And again, that is my Gung-Ho. That's how he sits in my display. But for these purposes, we won't have him on. We won't have him holding it because he didn't come with that. And we're trying to review the figure as best as we can as they actually came. So anyway, that is my my Gung-Ho. There's not much more to say, but please tell me a little bit about it if you had them. All right, so there you go. That is Gung-Ho and how I always have him portrayed. I absolutely love this submachine gun, and we've had it on him for years. That's what he's always used. And again, it just really fit him, and he has a big hand. That sounds kind of weird, but his thumb doesn't change, and it doesn't break. Well, will break, but it has a bigger hand, so I was able to hold this. But I absolutely love this figure. It's not my original. I can tell you my original was pretty worn down and beat up. So anyway, tell me a story about this guy. Did you have him? Is this the figure that got you into G.I. Joe? Is this the figure that made you join the military? Again, everyone has a story, and I absolutely love the fact that this is what we do. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys all for watching this long. Please, if you stayed this long, take a second. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a classic review. But now I'm going to get out of here, but you're like, I need more O-ring, and I'm like, you sure do, but you probably want a vehicle, right? Right up here is going to be the Dragonfly, and down here will be the playlist of all the G.I. Joe classified, all the G.I. Joe classic reviews that I've done. Take care.